Hey everybody, it's your girl Kritek, the Authentic Empress. And on this video, I'm going to talk about, it's kind of like a sidebar from the Greek video, the Black Greek sororities and fraternities video that I did. Now, mind you, in that video, I mentioned that I was a former AKA. And, you know, the concept of the whole fraternity sorority thing, it's like, it's very predatory-ish based, right? And I say that because when I was making that video, it's like other things was being brought to my, you know, attention. Basically like puzzle pieces, like being put together. And I remember, as a light being, right, I remember the first big conference we went to and attended in Atlanta. And I want to say we was at the Marriott. It's so crazy. Like, now, mind you, it was 12 of us. I was one of the 12. So it's me and the other 11 girls. And I remember, you know, us entering the hotel and everything. And, you know, we're walking in the lobby, approaching, you know, the, what is it called? Basically, like, for you to check in. And as we were, like, crossing through the lobby, like, minutes after we entered, like, I kid you not, one of the, I don't think you would call him concierge, but one of the guys, there was a guy that worked there, you know, he had on a suit and everything. Apparently, he worked for the hotel, and he basically assists people, you know. He was one of those people. Black guy, excuse me. He's a black guy, handsome. Actually, he was fine as hell, okay? He was fine as hell. Brown skin, you know, braids, like pretty cornrows, like, in a nice ass suit, nice build, like, he was fine as hell. And he approached me, like, while I was walking with the rest of the girls, he came directly to me, like, directly to me, almost like a magnet. It's so weird, like, but hear me out. And it was so crazy. I remember, you know, the girls, like, because he basically approached me like, hey, how you doing? He was basically hollering, like he was trying to holler. And I remember the other girls, like, they had looked at me like, okay, like, giving me the side eye, like, you know? And, you know, it was just very odd. Like, he asked for my number and stuff like that. And I basically kind of turned that down. And I was like, I gave him my name. And I was like, if you find me on Facebook, reach out to me, you know. But this is my name on Facebook. I'm not giving you my number. So he did write me on Facebook that night. He wrote me on Messenger and everything. And, yeah, so we exchanged a few messages back and forth that night, and, you know, so the following day, he's messaging me. Mind you, he's, like, in communication with me, like, the whole time that I'm there, because, ended up being, because once again, like, if you pay attention to some of the stuff I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I don't think this is in the Greek video, but I was deemed as, like, a very neutral person out of the group. Like, everybody that came in was clicked up. Like, you had these 2 best friends, you got these 3 or 4 best friends, you know, that are cliques. And me, myself, I was just neutral amongst everybody. Like, I was just cool with everybody, basically. But I was also one of the most authentic. I did not wear makeup, you know, like, I didn't look like the other girls. Like, all the other girls wore makeup, and you get what I'm saying, like, all that shit. And I just wasn't like that. But not just that, there was a huge difference between us, you know, like, soul-wise, like, the condition of our soul, right? And so they ended up, I mean, I felt shade from these motherfuckers, like, instantly. But, you know, a lot of it came out when we were at this conference. I don't know if, because prior to that, because I had mentioned in one of the videos that I had crossed in November and got in a car accident in December. And the week prior to me getting in a car accident, my phone was destroyed. So it's like, stuff, it's almost like curses were being like transferred to me immediately just from me joining this thing, right? And so even though the girls already had their reservations and stuff like that, because like the reservations at these hotels get filled quickly, so you know you're encouraged to go ahead and, you know, make your reservations early on. I was behind because nobody could contact me because all this stuff that was happening to me, I didn't have a phone in order for anybody to like get in contact with me. So by the time that, you know, communication, you know, opened back up with me and my line sisters and my advisor and stuff like that, everybody already had their reservations. And my advisor encouraged me to try to room with one of my line sisters, even though my godmother, who is a professor at a university, she got basically she got connects. So it's like she already had like a place, like a reservation in place for me, like waiting on me, like if I needed that, like just waiting for me to give her the say so, right? But my advisor was encouraging me. Like, she just insisted that I try to room with my line sisters. And I did. I tried. So the only ones that were available that had like space available happened to be these arrogant ass girls, like these damn sophomores, who really thought AKA made them, like AKA was every fucking thing, opposed to me already being established academically and socially on campus prior to AKA. Like, AKA did not make me. If anything, I add to AKA, period. Anyway, so that's the type of situation it was. Like, they didn't really have anything to show for themselves besides being a fucking AKA, and they rolled that shit to the fucking wheels fell off, or I'm sure they plan on doing that. Anywho, so because I was doing other things, like I'm a part of these honor societies, and I'm doing research for my professor, and I'm tutoring, you know, 2 subjects and stuff like that. I had shit. I was doing shit. I was busy. So it's like, you have to work around my schedule, and it's like I'm trying to work around theirs for us to meet up and discuss, you know what I'm saying, everything, and so that I can give them the money towards the reservation. So these motherfuckers try to play like, oh, she broke, she ain't give us the money yet, she keep making excuses, when in actuality, no, you're gonna have to work around my schedule because I know I'm doing more than what the fuck you're doing, period. And that's just simply what it was. And you know, they had this group chat when they was just spreading these rumors, oh yeah, she this, she that, she broke, da 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 da, when that was not the case. So even though my advisor was still trying to encourage me to stay with these fake ass girls, I was like, you know what, fuck that shit, because I don't fucking need none of these motherfuckers. I don't fucking need them. So just like I said, my godmother had that shit in place for me because she can move some fucking weight. You get what I'm saying? And so I had a room reserved. I didn't have to stay with them. I just let them talk their shit, you know, gossip, all of them. I let them have that because for some reason that provided some type of boost to them. You get what I'm saying? Because they was really envious all along. Anyway, so when we had got there too, let me tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and say this part too, like how karma works. Like, cause karma, like I love the Most High, because that karma be hitting. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're a true divine feminine, that karma hit quickly. So anyway, I remember the night we got there, everybody's rooms were not ready. Whether you had a room reserved or not, all the rooms were not ready yet. So some people had to wait till the following morning. The people that just so happened to wait till the following morning was me and those 2 fucking girls who my advisor was encouraging me to stay with. And, you know what I'm saying, they was trying to play me and shit in the group chat, like spreading rumors and, you know, defamation of character and shit, right? So I was able to not only have a room booked at the Marriott, but to also book a room across the street at this nice ass hotel across from the Marriott for me to stay in, you know, that night until my room was ready the following morning. So who ended up needing somewhere to stay? Those same 2 girls who called themselves trying to throw me under the bus and try to play me and lie on me about me not having money or lacking the funds to do whatever the fuck. They ended up having nowhere to stay, having to humble themselves. So, you know, I was like, well, y'all can stay with me humbly, because I already knew what it was about. I already knew what that was about. That was just karma. Boom, boom, right in your face, right? Anyway, and not only that, like the room that I had, it was like the biggest room at the hotel. Like it was like a conference like room type shit. So it was like, okay, yeah, that shit backfired quick. And of course, motherfuckers want to play nice now and kiss your ass. So that's what ended up happening. Anyway, moving forward, because of that, you know, that shade, you get what I'm saying, like that these girls was giving me, like, cause understand that it's a soul thing. It's like a spirit thing, an energetic, vibrational thing, or why, you know, they were trying to so-called alienate and isolate me. So I was supposed to have a king bed at the Marriott, right? The hotel that we all had to stay at, or whatever. But they ended up giving me 2 double beds, like, and literally, like, one of the girls, even though they were supposed to get double beds, they only had 1 big bed, and it was literally like 4 of them all piled in one fucking room. Let me tell you how arrogant, egotistical these females were. Like, even though, like, I literally offered my space to them. Like, I offered to share my space with them. I was like, you know, all you guys don't have to stay in here. Like, they gave me 2 double beds. Like, and I'm in there by myself. Like, if any of you want to come in the room with me, that's fine. Don't you know they denied the invitation? They denied the invitation because they just could not live that shit down. Like, they could not accept the fact that, okay, even though we basically, like, did an injustice toward her, no, like, and we're kind of like indebted to her. It's like, no, like, nah, no, you know, they didn't want to humble themselves, basically, or accept the fact that they were wrong for what the fuck they did, and that shit backfired, and God had me like the whole time. So yeah, that's just a extra sidebar. But anyway, so I said that because I ended up, they end up calling themselves trying to alienate me, by not, by leaving me out of the messages and stuff like that. Whenever they plan to go to an event together, the next event or whatever, like, they would intentionally not tell me, you know what I'm saying, so that I would like have to be by myself to basically like maneuver myself around this place. And so the guy, that worked there, he offered to help me and assist me or whatever. So we basically like ended up kicking it or whatever, and blah 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 blah. So we had lots of conversation, like, and the importance of this conversation is why I'm making this video. Whew. So I'm just gonna skip to the point. He let me know that he was in a process of trying to become a Freemason. Mind you, I'm at an AKA event, and yeah, that's why he was there. That was just a part of his due diligence or whatever. Like I said, like, in the process of him becoming a Freemason. And he kept asking me a question, and it was a question similar to like what's the secret? Like, it was something similar, like what's the secret? Like, trying to get me to tell him some type of information. Like, he was just trying his hardest to get some type of information out of me. Like what's the secret? I almost like, I'm trying to think of the guy in the Bible who had, like, his locks were blessed and his power lied in his locks. And it's like they were trying to find out where his power came from, like where his strength came from. And they sent a woman, a Jezebel spirit, in order to get this information and to sway him. And you know what I'm saying? And basically nag on him and just keep pressing him until he gives her that information, just so he can relieve himself of her nagging ass energy. This is exactly how this motherfucker was moving, y'all. So moving forward, yeah, like, he just kept trying to get this information from me. And I just find it odd how I was the one that he drew to first, like almost like a magnet. Like, it was almost like he was in a trance like state, when he approached me. And he was just so, persistent and trying to get a particular type of information out of me. And it was just so crazy, like, and yeah, and not only that, but just, giving me information regarding, like, Freemason, like a very limited information, right? Because they're not allowed to tell you everything. They can only tell you but so much. So yeah, not only that, he tried to sleep with me, like he literally penetrated me while I was asleep without my permission. And of course, when I woke up, like, I stopped them and stuff like that, and da. But bear with me, right? Bear with me here. It was deeper than that, mind you. This is somebody who was trying, in the process of becoming a Freemason. It was much more deeper than that. Like, the reason why all this stuff was happening to me after I joined, like that, the reason that he was attracted to me, the reason why all these girls, like, were envious, you know what I'm saying, trying to alienate me and stuff like that. The reason why all this stuff happened is simply because I am a divine being, a life force, a light being. And they wanted my power. They literally just wanted my power, my energy, my abilities, my gifts. That's really what it was. I was surrounded by thieves, by predators. And that's why the whole sorority fraternity thing is a trap. And why so many light beings get caught into this trap, you know, and get reeled in by the glitz and glamour and the lies and the falsehood of these false promises of success and these so-called connections to help you get far and stuff like that. Y'all, it's a fucking trap. It's a fucking trap. These people are predators, and they try to bind themselves with light beings just to transfer their negative and bad and low vibrational toxic ass karma, toxic generational curses and patterns and stuff like that. They try to bind themselves through rituals and you know, then some. They try to bind themselves to light beings just to transfer their inheritance, their dark inheritance with the light beings, like high vibrational inheritance or whatever, depending on the transmutation, the trauma transmutation that they did, you know, like the good karma that they've built up for themselves, you know, their divine inheritance. So once again, I cannot stress enough how much these people are thieves, because not only that, I was still led away from these individuals the following year that I crossed, maybe a couple of months after that conference. The divine led me away from them, and they literally, the advisor, she literally begged me to stay. She literally was begging me to stay. I had to block this lady. Even though I told her my reasons for doing it, I'm just doing it because it's divinely led. I'm doing it because this is what God told me to do. She ain't give a fuck about none of that. She was still trying to convince me otherwise. Why? Because it's it was my energy, y'all. It was my energy that they wanted to have in their possession. You get what I'm saying? And it's just so fucked up. It's so sick and twisted. And it's I know that I went through the whole process of actually joining and stuff like that, just to see, just to go in there with my spiritual eyes and see the truth of what it is, unmask the deception. That was really why it was a task. My soul was assigned a task and a mission from the Most High, so that I can warn individuals, especially light beings, not from actually joining these organizations, because it's working against them, not for them. And to remind them that they don't need no fucking groups of people. They don't need people in order for them to manifest their desires and what they deserve. If anything, you need to learn about your own power, your strength, your abilities, and spiritual warfare, and the essence of spirituality. Because these people, they're not stupid. These people are not stupid. They are very aware of what they're doing. And not just that, out of all the girls, I was named critically acclaimed. You know what I'm saying? They noticed me above all quickly, and they gave me the name, rightfully so. And not just that, a lot of the girls, because I'm gonna tell you about y'all having your talents and stuff too, especially spiritual abilities, spiritual talent, skills, and abilities that's attached to air, right? And what I mean by that is your sound, your voice, your ability to sing. There was a lot of girls in this group who could sing, including myself. And a lot of times, whenever we had to do events and stuff like that, they would always try to get us to fucking sing. And not just that, the choice of the songs that we would sing. That was one of the songs they had us sing, because a lot of it would be churchy songs, but it was a deeper meaning to this shit, y'all. Hear me out. One of the songs that we had to sing was, I give myself away. I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. My life is not my own. To you I belong. I give myself to you. Pay attention to those lyrics. Pay attention to those lyrics. We was not singing this shit to God. They had us singing this shit to this fucking entity attached to the organization, having us amplify and power up whatever entity and dark energy, out of a result of all of these dark people who can just buy themselves into this organization and just bind themselves to light individuals, and not just that, to this entity, to feed this entity with power, right? So they literally, we were literally like fuel. Like, they literally search particular people out. The reason why your GPA matters, because it's like that intelligence is kind of attached to that, you know, a higher vibration. You know, like having like a higher intelligence is attached to a higher vibration. That's like a tall tale sign of, you know, what kind of power, you know, is inhabiting the individual. You know, whether that be negative, whether that be, you know, a power of light or dark. So that's one thing. And then money, you know, is currency, that's energy. So it's like a contract. It's like you buying yourself voluntarily. You're buying yourself into this organization, like you're giving them permission over your soul. It's a soul contract. That's why it's followed by rituals. That's why all these colors and all this shit matters. Y'all, this shit is crazy. Wearing all black. And then being surrounded by all these women in all white. And then after you come through it, now you have on all white. You get what I'm saying? Occultism. Occultism. Y'all, this shit is so fucking deep. This shit is so fucking real. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because that particular guy, like, he literally was like scattered spiritually. Like I just gained, like, as I learned more and more about him, because he was like desperately trying to stay attached to my energy. And you know, and he used to call himself, he used to go by knowledge. Like, he used to call himself knowledge. And, you know, this was somebody who was just scattered sexually. Like he was irresponsible with his sexuality. Just very split within his spiritual self. And it's like all this stuff was just brought back to my attention. Even though I picked up on all these things as time went on. Like, even with, like, out of nowhere, I remember seeing him, and it's like he had all this money out of nowhere. Like, all this money. And yeah, like, I just wanted to, like, really, like, put that out there, because I know, like, it was brought to my attention for a reason. That's just a part of me, like, giving people information and a deeper insight to what's really going on with these organizations. Excuse me. Because they've even, like, put curses and spell work on my life just for me leaving. For me, like, denouncing them and leaving. These people have put spell work, like, and try to curse me and my success, basically out of fear of my success, right? Because what they wanted me to stay attached, because that potency of my energy that I had, that abundance energy, that prosperity attached to me that I had, that survival, that life force. That's why, you know, they went out of their way, you know, to try to keep me there. And then whenever, like, I stood firmly in my decision, that's when, you know, they just went berserk. Like trying to throw curses and dark magic and all this shit on my name, and just like trying to say that I'm psychotic, like basically trying to discredit me, so that, like, if a time like this was the, you know, because of course this time was coming, right, for me to expose these motherfuckers. They didn't want anybody to, like, believe what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want, like, their true tactics or their predatory nature to be exposed. Because I let me remind you, even though there was, you know, other women just like me, other people like me, you know, who the divine led them away from it, it's like they still missed the mark with, you know, telling people the exact facts, like the reasons of why these people are doing what they're doing. It goes beyond, you know, what the scriptures are saying. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. And if you watch my video that I posted when I did a tarot spread, when I allow the high vibrational ancestors, the people that they associate these organizations with, Isis and Anubis, and, you know, all these Egyptian gods and goddesses, you know, who were connected to the divine, who you know what I'm saying, like, who were conduits of divinity. Please, why I allow them to give us insight and information, and allow them to speak in that tarot reading. So I do encourage you guys to go and watch it. Watch the entire video. If you know anybody that's in the organization, if you know anybody that's at the place where they're questioning the organization, share this video with them. But yes, like, it is a trap. It is literally like a trap, like for fairies type shit. Like, it's a trap for divine energy, so they can just steal, and not just that, but transfer their toxic, you know, inheritance with yours. Like, they're trying to trade it, right, for survival, and literally, like, swallowing you up. Like, it's like they're trying to swallow up your energy for their own agenda and personal, you know, and you know, self selfish reasons, basically. So that's what I'm going to say, because I don't want to make this video too long. Like, because a part of the spell work, because several people have put spell on me, like put spell work on me regarding my throat chakra. They don't want me to speak facts, because there's so much that I know, so much, you know, that was injustice that was done unto me, that when I reveal this shit about these motherfuckers, it's, you know, it's really gonna bring the tower down for them. Even though the shit has already been reversing, even though all that shit has already been happening, right? Regardless, it's like there's more. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. Period. It's bigger than them just getting their karma. It's about saving and sparing other souls for having to interact and engage with motherfuckers like this, with these karmic, twisted, demonic, low vibrational, draconic motherfuckers. So I've had friendships, people I used to consider friends, put spell work on my sacral, on my crown, on my throat chakra, my solar plexus, my will, trying to shut me up, trying to silence me because of what I stand for. And because what I speak can heal people, it can free people. So y'all, please don't take, I really, really appreciate people who take the time out to listen to my videos, because I'm not doing this shit for just no fucking hobby. I'm not. I'm doing this shit out of my, like, literally out of the pureness of my heart, the sincerity of my heart, because I have an oath with the Most High to be a conduit of justice and truth and integrity and harmony and balance and divinity. I'm a Taurus sun, Libra, rising, for God's sake. Justice, truth. And I'm willing to do, I'm willing to accept the dark. I'm willing to stand fiercely in this war, this spiritual warfare, in order to achieve my task in this realm, in order to fulfill what I need to fulfill for my legacy moving forward. I don't stand for falsehood by any means necessary. So I'm going to leave this here. This is your girl Kritek, the Authentic Empress. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Leave your feedback in the comment section. And I appreciate y'all. Once again, we all about ascending, transmuting trauma, curses, healing, harmony, restoration of balance and harmony. That's what we're about over here. I love you guys. This is the real divine feminine. Peace.